Well, hello there, boys and girls. Welcome back to the shop. It's another day of me pretending to know what I'm doing and just trying to get some stuff done. Just got done working on, or doing a little work to the LGT 17H, the new Ford garden tractor that I didn't need but bought anyway. But I've got like 6 million things going on right now. I've started way too many projects and haven't finished any of them, so I'm just trying to get some of the smaller ones done and out of the way so I can get back to doing some of the bigger projects. You know how life is. Stuff comes up, you get ideas for things you want to do, and you know, just one thing after the next, you try and get them started before you forget about doing them. And that's kind of how things have been going lately. But what we're doing today, I haven't really filmed too much on this yet. I've had these big chunks of slab wood that I got from my grandparents. My dad's mom was big into like wood carving and stuff like that when she was a little bit younger, and she still does quite a bit of it. But anyway, she had these big slabs of, I want to say they're like balsa or something like that. It's a fairly soft wood, a lightweight wood. It's not pine, but I'm not 100% sure what it is. The live edge is still on it there, and she gave me 2 of those, knowing that I like to do, you know, woodworking projects and stuff like that. And I've had them sitting around for probably the past 3 or 4 years, and I'm just now decided what I wanted to do with them. A couple weeks ago, my wife and I were out at our hunting property making some trails, and that's all white pines and cedar out there. And this stump was this tree was in the way of one of the trails that we were making, or widening, I should say. And I thought, hey, you know, that'd be probably a perfect candidate to grab that and make a table out of it with those chunks of slab wood I have at home. So that's what we're doing. Give you a bit of a closer view here. So this is the big, you know, chunk of whatever it is. Like I said, I think it's balsa or something like that. I really don't know. It is a very soft wood, but I have the other one up in the garage attached to the house there. But when I got these, you know, somebody had cut them. It wasn't cut on a sawmill or anything like that. It was just cut out of a stump with a chainsaw, so it was real rough cut. I had to smooth it out. That's what I spent yesterday doing. I didn't film any of that because the dust would have just been way too, I guess, harsh on the cameras. But what I ended up doing was getting these 4.5-inch flap discs from Harbor Freight and throwing that on the angle grinder to smooth it out as best I could, and then just hit it with the palm sander there with 80 and 120 to smooth it out. So the top of the table is not at all perfectly level. So I'm going to have to pay a little bit close attention to that when I attach it to the stump to try and get it as level as possible, so you can set a cup of coffee on there without it flying off and making a mess all over the carpet. But this is going to be the top side. I'm going to keep the bark on it, live edge, whatever you want to call it. And this is going to be the back. Had a big crack here that I just filled with some wood glue and let that dry. I don't know if that's going to help anything at all. This has been drying for years, so I really don't expect it to be an issue cracking or anything like that any further. But you can see some of the marks left in the wood from the chainsaw bar. This being the back, I didn't, you know, try and get it. Obviously the back doesn't matter as much as the front, so it's not perfect like the front side was, or at least I got the front. Front as perfect as I could, and I chose this as the top because of the knot, a couple of knots, and just the character of it. I guess it seemed like the better side for the top. So this is going to be the legs, the support for the table. And like I said, this is just a cedar stump. And I've got that smoothed out pretty much as well as I could. And it's actually, the top of this is almost 100% level. What I did was, this was a lot longer when I cut it, and then I decided on the height, and then just took a level and, you know, held the level, and then scribed a line, and then tried to lop it off as straight as I could. But it's going to take some shimming and stuff like that to get it as level as I want it. And like I said, this was on the edge of a trail that we were widening, and one of the previous owners of the property decided that, you know, they would have, I guess, needed to cut off the root right there. So when I pulled this out of the ground, or cut it out of the ground, you know, it wasn't stable. It was pretty lopsided because that one support was missing. So I kind of made it a little prosthetic there out of a cedar branch. And I just glued that last night and got that set up. So you can see the joint there. It's just glued in there right now, and I think that's going to be plenty strong. But I bought these mortise and tenon tools from a company called Lumberjack, and if I remember correctly, they're actually out of Wisconsin as well. I think it was like $200 for the set off of Amazon, and that's what those look like for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about. That's how you get, you know, that shape on the end of a log for making log furniture, stuff like that. If you're interested, I can try and throw the link down in the comment section. But they seem pretty quality. They have 3 different grades. I think there's like the homeowner, the commercial, and the industrial. I would recommend just paying for, at the bare minimum, the mid-grade, the commercial, which is the ones that I got. But if you're going to be making any amount of furniture with these, I would probably go for the industrial grade. But as you can see, I've got a lot of different things going on, furniture plans. This over here is going to end up being a daybed or a couch, you know, whatever you want to call it, with a trundle underneath it that's going to go in my office slash guest bedroom in the house. But anyway, yeah, so obviously this is all still unfinished, and what my plan is for attaching this, I also have this, it's like kind of like 1x material or thickness that is of the same variety as this wood. So what we're going to do is chop a section of this off, screw it to the top of the stump, and then I'll be able to run screws up from the bottom side into the tabletop, and that's how it's going to be attached. So that's the general plan. Once that's done, we're going to look at any final finishing that might need to be done, and then, or I should say, any final prep work before we begin the finishing process. I'm just going to be putting polyurethane on it. I have a bunch of gloss, or not gloss, satin left over from when I did the trim work in my office. So I'm going to use that up out of the can and then hit it with a high gloss spray when I'm done, just to get the finish that I want, because I do want a high gloss finish on this, but it's going to take several coats because this is all so dry. It's just going to immediately soak everything up. So that's the whole point of hitting it with the satin first, just to use that up, and then the final finish will be a gloss. So let's get to work. Okay, so the top is actually nice and secure, and believe it or not, it's fairly level. I was going to shim it, but I decided not to. It's honestly close enough. All that's going to be on here is a cup of coffee, and I mean maybe a lamp or something like that, a very small one. So I don't think there's really any need to mess with it. So the next step now is to just give it 24 hours and let that glue set up, and then we can come back and do any final sanding before we start finishing it. But you can see there what the bottom looks like. There's a little bit of a gap there. Like I said, the top of the stump wasn't perfectly level, but you know, it doesn't need to be. This is going to work more than, you know, it's going to be more than acceptable for a side table in a living room. Still going to look really freaking cool, I think. Yeah, so all we really got to do is wait for that glue to, I mean, you can see it's squishing out here, and it's probably going to make its way out of that seam too pretty quick. I put 3 screws down through the top of the mounting plate, and then 4 up from the bottom. There's 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one is over there. And I think that's going to be plenty secure. It's not like the whole thing weighs that much. Like I said, this is like some sort of really lightweight wood. I want to say it's like balsa or something else that starts with a B. I can't think of it. But the whole thing weighs less than 50 pounds, even though it looks like it would weigh quite a bit more. I like the way the bottom looks, the prosthetic. I keep calling it a prosthetic because, I mean, that's kind of what it is, right? It looks kind of goofy on there. That side's probably going to go up against the wall anyway. So as you're looking at it, you know, once it's finally in the living room, this is going to be the side that you see on the front. And for the first time, my first time doing something like this, I'm extremely happy with the way it turned out. I think it looks really cool. It's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. Same with making the log bed that I have behind me there. I did make, this was a while ago, I made a headboard out of logs without the mortise and tenon tools, or the bits, and just did it by hand with like a wood rasp and a spade bit, and that takes forever. Really gives you an appreciation for how much time having the drill and the tools takes off the process. And I think there's only like 4 mortise and tenon joints in that headboard that I made, and like my hands were sore for weeks after doing that. But definitely gives you an appreciation for the way things used to be done. Kind of makes you feel like we've all gone a little bit soft, but it is nice to be able to rip through that many, I guess it'd be tenons. You know, there's, what is there, 8 over there, I think. Is there 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, so 16 tenons, and that took me less than 10 minutes. And when I was doing the headboard that I made by hand, those 4 probably took me a couple days. You know, well, I mean, all in all, probably close to 6 or 7 hours spread out over a couple days. But yep, like I said, anyway, now we're just waiting for the glue to set up. Got to give that at least 24 hours, and then we'll be back to sand it, do any finish sanding, and then start throwing the first coat of urethane on it. Unfortunately for me, that's probably going to be another 5 days away. With the way work's been going, I doubt I'll have any time during the week to work on this, but for you, I'm sure you'll be seeing it in just a couple seconds, so hang tight. So it's been a few hours and that glue has had a chance to set up. Still the same day as it was last time I talked to you, but I decided that I'm going to go ahead and throw a coat of urethane on here anyway, and make use of all the time that I'm going to have to leave this alone. Might as well get the first coat on there and just let it soak it up and get a good base on there. And I mean, it's going to have to be sanded anyway, so I can deal with any glue that has to be sanded at that point. So figured I might as well throw a coat on there before I head in the house for the week and don't get back out here until next weekend. Alright, I think we're going to call this one here. The battery on the Canon is just about dead. This will probably dry within the next couple hours, and I might even be able to get another coat on it yet today. It's, as usual, just soaking the urethane up almost immediately. But I'm trying to get you a shot of the top here. Certainly does look good already. I think once it's finished with the high gloss, it's going to look even better. But I think that's going to be in a part 2.